Hello everybody and welcome to the first episode of the Povey Pandemic Project. I'm here with my wife Sarah. I'm Lee. We're going to be your hosts for this show. Our aim is to provide support, advice and community during the COVID-19 pandemic. Each episode will cover a different topic you might be facing during this challenging time, and we'll be inviting guest experts to provide you with the best information we possibly can. I have a background in management myself and high-level sports coaching, and my wife Sarah is an associate marriage and family therapist, currently working as a lead therapist at a substance abuse and mental health treatment facility. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel here and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. So for today's episode, we're going to address the challenges that your interpersonal relationships might be suffering or experiencing during this challenging time. Especially with the kind of close proximity that we're all having with the stay-at-home order. So, Sarah, my first question is, what challenges are couples reporting to you that they're facing right now?
Yeah, I think the most challenging thing right now is that couples are spending a lot more time together than they usually do. Usually people spend a couple hours in the evening together after they're back from work, work parallel schedules, and are spending a lot more time together than usual. So, with heightened fear and anxiety, people are scared of losing their job. There might be some financial insecurity. There's just people kind of dealing with these really, really intense realities and fears, and they're living together, and it's all just kind of like culminating, and people are
just a lot more
that.
Stress, isn't there, and a lot more time together.
Yeah.
Okay, so leading from that, what are some coping strategies and skills that people can put into place to help them deal with this new reality?
Well, I think the biggest one is kindness. I think that we need to remember that this is a stressful time for everyone and that we're all dealing with it in different ways, and just to be more gentle with each other and be kind to our partners, right? It sounds simple, but really goes a long way.
It's funny, it's easy to forget, isn't it? Just the difference that small things make.
Yeah, and we're two human beings, right? And we have a very, very different ways of dealing with crisis. Some people move towards anxiety, some people avoid it. So, we're two different people and we're dealing with it differently, and we don't always understand what's going on for the other person.
To give you guys an example, I love facts, data, so I'm following all the statistics around the virus, how many new cases in every part of the world in America, and Sarah hates that and just wants to switch off and doesn't want to watch the news and doesn't want to know about that. And that's fine, because that's your way of coping with it. Yeah. My way of coping with it is to be as informed as possible. Your way of coping with it is to kind of shut that out and concentrate on yourself. So, we have different coping mechanisms. So let's list some of those skills. Give me some examples of what we can do right now, to kind of work on that kindness, to work on that togetherness, and to deal with the situation we're in right now.
Well, I think the biggest one is just recognizing that different needs are not bad. They're just different. That we can do a lot to support each other, so validating each other's anxieties.
So give me some examples of that. I'm looking for examples, so give me examples that couples can do.
So an example, say if I'm feeling a lot of anxiety, I'm really afraid, I'm talking about how I'm afraid, Lee could say, it's not that scary, don't worry about it, we're going to be fine, we'll make it through this. Or
I could say, honey, okay, it's going to be okay, I'm here for you, what do you need right now?
Yes. You're just naming the process.
I do that with pride, but usually I'm terrible at that. I'm a fixer, and usually I would say, hey, it's going to be okay, this is what we're going to do. So, you're going to have to evolve during this. Our relationships are going to have to evolve during this.
Yes, we're going to have to definitely meet each other where we are. This, unfortunately, is not a situation we can fix or rescue our partners out of. And that can feel really powerless. We want to fix and rescue because it makes us feel in control. It's just too big,
isn't it? We are all in a way out of control at the moment.
Yeah, and just letting your partner know that what they're feeling is real and valid goes a long way. Other things that we can do are separate ourselves, right? We can physically put ourselves in different rooms of the house. We can take care of ourselves in different ways. Right now I'm binge watching Tiger Kings. I love it. Love is Blind.
Awful.
That's how I'm taking care of myself when I'm not, at the facility.
So Sarah, give me some examples of what taking care of your emotional needs might mean. You already mentioned, binge watching kind of favourite TV shows. What else might somebody be able to do to kind of help themselves?
Yeah, it really depends on what you like, what relaxes you. So you could take a bath, you could go run, you could FaceTime your family, or connect with your community. I think that's a big one for people, and the social distancing, staying connected to their people. Exercising, watching a online yoga class, that kind of thing.
I think it's important here to acknowledge that it's healthy and it's okay for us to have our own time. I think many couples think that part of being a couple is you've got to get on the whole time, you've got to do everything together. And in our experience, our relationship is actually healthier when we have our own time and our own time to do things. We have our own hobbies, and then we come together and we have shared moments, like we might have some rituals like having takeaway from a certain place, or having a particular TV show that we watch together, and then there might be other stuff that we do apart. So don't be afraid as a couple to express your need for your own space. You're going to feel suffocated and smothered during this. So don't be afraid to say, hey, I need some space, and that might mean going and reading a book. And if you're the other partner, you have to respect your partner's wish for some space in that moment in time. Okay, so this kind of leads on to the next question. There's going to be conflict. There's going to be more conflict because we're spending more time with each other. So it's just normal that we're going to get into more conflict. I'm noticing there's little things that you do that I'm finding more irritating than I usually would, because it's happening more often. I can't escape it in a way. So can you give us some coping skills and some advice on how to deal with conflict right now?
Yes. So being really gentle with ourselves and with each other, recognizing that we're going to be more short fused than usual. So if your partner lashes out or they're grumpy, just kind of recognizing that that's, kind of par for the course right now. Shouldn't be all the time, but we all have bad days, and being a little bit more gentle with that. Physically removing yourself, walking away, taking a break. If you're in an argument, and it's kind of escalating, to walk away, say I need to take 5 minutes, not storming out or slamming the door. Sometimes it happens like that. But there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I'm escalating right now, I need 5 minutes to myself just to go breathe, to go cool off and come back.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. You don't always have to fix the argument there and then. You can take a bit of time, and often with time comes some clarity. I think this might be a good point to talk a little bit about the psychology that we use in our relationship, and I use with the people I coach and stuff. And one of them is Gottman's bid for connections. I think that's actually going to be a really important thing right now. So for those of you that don't know, I would strongly suggest you look up the work by John Gottman. Do you remember what the book is called?
The Sound House Relationship Theory, or The Relationship Cure is another one that's really good. Okay, so Gottman has studied relationships in great depth and very carefully and scientifically, and something he noticed was the quality of relationships, and the biggest predictor of how long a relationship lasted was how people responded to bid for attention. So there's 3 responses to a bid for attention. Please tell me if I'm doing this wrong. And so the first bid for attention, or the first response to bid for attention, is to ignore the person, so it's turn away. So Sarah would come home from work, she would say to me, hey honey, how was your day? And I'd turn away and I'd ignore her. Obviously not a very successful strategy. The second response is to turn against. So Sarah would come home from work, say, hey honey, how was your day? And I'd say, well, you don't care about me, why are you even asking? And I'm responding, but it's not very pleasant. And the last one would be a bid to respond, would be to turn towards, where I would say, Sarah says, hey honey, how was your day? And I would say, oh, I did such and such, and this happened, and how was your day? And we would engage
in a conversation. Now, not all bids for attention have to revolve around conversations. You know, they could be something as simple as when we're walking past each other, we give each other a squeeze. And again, you know, you can ignore that, you can lean into that, or you can push somebody away, you know, so there's all different things. So just be very conscious at the moment. We're probably going to be giving each other a lot of bids for affection, for attention, because we're spending so much time together. You know, don't ignore those bids. That's going to be a relationship killer. And don't turn towards the relationship will last a bit longer, but it's going to be unpleasant. Find the kindness to turn towards them, acknowledge those bids for attention, even if it could be, hey honey, I'm in the middle of doing something right now, you know, I acknowledge that you want some time. How about, you know, I finish this, I'm going to be finished in half an hour, and then let's do X together, instead of, you know, bugger off, I'm in the middle of something, you're annoying me. It's the same message, really, but delivered very differently, and the impact on the relationship is different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other skills that you think, or anything that we need to avoid right now that could help?
Yeah, there's a thing in psychotherapy that we call interpersonalizing your own dilemmas. So, for example, if I'm struggling to motivate myself to go for a run, which I often do.
She's promised me that, well, I don't promise me, she's told me, I don't care, but she's told me that she's going to go for a run pretty much every day since we've been in lockdown. I have yet to see those sneakers be used.
It's unprecedented. So if I'm trying to motivate myself, I can't get out there, I'm just not feeling it. If I'm going to interpersonalize my own dilemma, I'm going to blame Lee for the fact that I'm not going running. You're not motivating me enough. We're just watching TV. All we do is sit here. You know, I'm putting the onus outside of myself. So that's a really big thing that we can use while we're in proximity with each other, is to own our needs, right? We're all going to have needs. They might be different. And it's okay to have needs. And it's okay to ask our partners to see if they'll come and meet our needs. But seeing if we can take care of our own needs.
Yeah, self-responsibility. Those that know me will know I'm big on self-responsibility, taking care of yourself. A lot with my athletes, I see my role as to teach them how to be able to take care of themselves so that they don't need me. You know, if I'm not there, they can perform just as well as if I was there. You know, I know with us it's a big thing, taking responsibility for yourself. And it can be a trigger for a lot of people. If somebody else is leaning on them a lot, you know, that can be a trigger that they're going to get very frustrated. Why are you not taking responsibility for yourself? So, you know, look out for that. Look out for, are you owning your stuff? Are you taking responsibility of your needs? Are you respectful of your partner's needs? Okay, so let's just recap. I think there was one thing on our list that we missed, and that was routines. So talk about how routines can help a couple.
Yes, so we want to take all of this unstructured free time that we have and put together a routine for ourselves so that we have a beginning and an end to things that we do. We really need to build that structure in so that we can have some semblance of normality.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's just, you know, for my own example, I've gone from coaching 6 sessions a week at the track and 3 to 4 sessions a week at the gym to now having, you know, no in-person sessions to coach. And I had an incredibly structured life. Like almost every minute of my day was accounted for. I had to be somewhere. If I wasn't somewhere, I had a list of diaries I needed to fill in. So, you know, I have a very structured life usually. And now I've gone to, I still have some structure, but much less structure. And that's uncomfortable for me personally. I like structure a lot. I like uniformity.
Yeah, so structure can offer us safety, it can offer us direction and purpose. So having concrete things that you do every day. It doesn't have to be the same thing every day, but getting up, making coffee, making breakfast, doing your push-ups, you know, having set activities.
Sarah's teasing me there. So I've started, because I need some goals and I need some, you know, kind of things to look forward to, things to do. I've started a press-up challenge with my friends, where every morning I'm doing press-ups. So the first thing I do is I get up, I drink my green juice, and then I do my press-ups, and I'm trying to see how many press-ups in one go I can do, and each day trying to push myself a little bit further. And that kind of gives me that routine that immediately gets me physical, gets me awake, and then gets me kind of ready to crack on with the work that I've got to do that day.
Yeah. So morning routines are really good, and also evening routines. You don't want to be in your sweatpants all day and then go to sleep in your sweatpants. You want to make sure there's a change.
At least change your sweatpants to a different pair of sweatpants.
Yeah. So marking these transitions with some sort of initiation, like changing your clothes, or closing the door, or going.
So let's talk about rituals that couples can do, though.
Yeah.
So in a further episode, we're going to get into workspace rituals and how we're going to handle workspace.
Yeah.
Sharing workspace at home, and so many of us at home are working from home, which is new to us.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about specific things that couples can do to kind of keep their routine and the romance going.
Yeah. So I think getting dressed for the day can be really helpful. Having coffee together or breakfast together. If you have time, watch a movie every Friday night. Keeping those dates, even if you're on lockdown. A lot of our small businesses are needing our support right now, so ordering in can be a very good way to support your community. What else? We really like going for evening walks together. When I get back from work, that's very grounding for me, and it gives us a little bit of time to spend together.
So kind of going back to the bid for connection, I think that's really helped us. So since this has started, Sarah's away working all day, I'm kind of cooped up in here, and I'm an animal that likes to do things, so it's a little bit challenged for me. So we've got into a routine. As soon as the first thing we do, as soon as Sarah comes home from work, is we go for a walk around the block. And we're careful, we're aware of social distancing and staying at home, so we just walk around our immediate block, and we might walk around 3, 4, 5 times. But that gives us an opportunity to connect. That gives Sarah an opportunity to share her day with me, gives me an opportunity to share my day with Sarah, and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's something now, seems like such a small thing, but that's something I look forward to. I can't wait for Sarah to get home, for us to go for a walk and talk about our days. And it's been quite, as Sarah said, grounding for me, and it makes sure that I get up and I get out of the house and I do something.
Yeah. This is a really good time for us also to reconnect with each other, to deepen our relationship, recommit to our intimacy, asking each other questions, getting to know each other a bit more, and doing, Gottman has a book called 8 Dates that can be really helpful, and asking the big questions.
One of our couple friends is doing that right now, and they're really enjoying it, so I think that's one we'd recommend. Sarah's been trying to get me to do it. I think I might have to relent and start that one now.
Yeah, and there's little card games you can get with questions, and you go back and forth, and you learn things like childhood best friends and your scariest memories, just to drop you deeper into your relationship and know each other.
And just to connect. Have some intimacy, connect. That time together could be junk time. Watching Tiger, whatever it is.
Don't knock that, but
or Love Is Blind, whatever that is. Or you can mix it, and you can spend some time doing that, because I think it's important to have those moments where we do switch off and relax. It's a stressful time for everybody right now. But at the same time, we can also use these moments, these gifts as they are, to work on our relationships. And we've got a time now where we can choose. Our relationships can improve through this time, or they're gonna they're not going to improve, and that's a choice. Going back to personal responsibility, that's a choice. If we accept these times, we accept that we have to work on our skills, our communication. I see lots of relationships improving, or we can choose not to do that, and then the anxiety is going to build, the stress is going to build, it's going to explode, and then we're going to have a period of a high divorce rate. So let's take personal responsibility, and let's work on our relationships. And as I think this is kind of the nice way to finish, as Sarah said right at the beginning, let's be kind to each other. Little acts of kindness make a huge difference. I'm being conscious right now of doing little things around the house, tidying up, emptying the dishwasher, because I have more time to do that now. And something I notice is,
really appreciate that.
And Sarah's very good at always telling me that she appreciates that. And it sounds like a silly thing, it's emptying the dishwasher. We have to do that. It's a normal chore, putting stuff in, washing, clothes washing, whatever it may be. I've noticed Sarah is excellent, and it makes me better at it, where she says, thank you, I appreciate you for doing that. So I think that's a really thing that I appreciate about you and makes our relationship better. So kind of just to finish now, we'd like to thank you for joining us in this. We hope that you found this informative. Over the next few weeks, we're going to go on to the following topics. So we'll look at financial stress and concern about income insecurity, role reversals, where one of you might have been the breadwinner and the other one wasn't, and that's now changing. As we said, workspace challenges, where two of you might be working from home and how you make that work, where somebody maybe is on the phone or doing video conferencing a lot, the other person is trying to study or read or something. Lack of direction and purpose. I think we're going to do one on that. And that's a big one for me. I'm a very, I need purpose in life. It's important to me. Why are we doing this video? I need a purpose. I need to help people. That's a big thing and a driver for me. We'll also talk about stress and anxiety, how to deal with stress, triggers for stress, coping with stress, and how we can improve that, and anything else that arises. And we'd love you to comment in our section in the video below, or on Facebook, or reach out to us on Instagram. Tell us what you'd like to see. Tell us how we can help you. If you would like to be on the show, you'd like to be interviewed by us, or you'd like to share some challenges you're facing and get some advice and support for us, we're here for that. Also, we'd like to hear from any experts. I don't know if you've got anybody that you can kind of suggest that might work. What fields do we need some help in?
Medicine, psychotherapy,
finance.
Finance
Is going to be a big one. So how to reduce your your outgoings during this time. If your wage is going down, budgeting, that would be really helpful. So again, thank you for joining us. We're really enjoying this. This is the first, hopefully, of many. Look out for us, the Povey Pandemic Project. Lastly, please share this with your friends. We'd like to help as many people as possible.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Goodbye.